Good afternoon and welcome to my presentation on refugees in schools. I've chosen two teaching resources today. One is a teacher's guide in teaching about refugees. It assists teachers in working with refugee children who have experienced stress and trauma-related behaviours. It's a guide that steps through identifying the experiences that cause stress and trauma. It helps teachers to identify the symptoms that children may display in the classroom, and it also identifies how the school and teachers can assist all children. It then outlines primary school and secondary school activities. These activities are designed to support the children's self-awareness, self-regulation, self-worth, empowerment, and self-confidence. Now, I'll quickly run through the experiences of a refugee child. They are going to experience war, conflict, torture, sexual assault, and violence. They've potentially lost a parent, sibling, family through death or separation. They've had constant and abrupt changes and uncertainty. They've missed months, possibly years of schooling. They have fear of separation and isolation, disrupted emotional attachments. They've got low socioeconomic status. They've lost their culture. They're having to come and adjust to an unfamiliar environment, food, people, and into a new culture now. So in the classroom, children are going to be displaying a range of different types of behaviours. They're going to be re-experiencing the events, so the trauma that they have experienced. They're going to show that through disassociation, trouble concentrating, avoidance, aggressive behaviours, fear, so they're going to become very hypervigilant, lack of self-worth and self-confidence, loss of trust, unwilling to take risks in the classroom and out in the playground. They're going to also have physical complaints, stomach aches, headaches, regressive behaviours, thumb sucking, possibly toileting issues, and also learning difficulties. Now, the role of the teachers and the school is to make sure that we provide a safe and supportive environment that's free from bullying, discrimination and harassment. This is a whole school approach. So we need to make sure that we are celebrating the diversity of our whole classroom. There's other agencies that are out there that can help and support us through that. So we need to make sure that we are assisting in a dual culture. Now that resource is used as a teacher's based resource for personal development. Now my next resource is a student resource. Now this is to be used in the classroom with the children. This is a children's true story. It is Ando. He is a little refugee. He's a grown adult now. But at the time, Ando's family escaped the war-ravaged Vietnam. They were very poor. They barely survived the overcrowded fishing boat that they had bought. There was about 40 of them that had saved their money for quite a long time and bought this old fishing boat. They had survived storms and pirates, lack of food, water, and the elements. Eventually, they were saved by a German boat and they arrived in Australia. They knew very little English. They had no uniforms. They had very funny smelling lunches and no friends. Ando was absolutely miserable, but his mum taught him hope and resilience. It goes through his trials and tribulations. It focuses on many different aspects that you could use within the classroom. But for this experience, I'm going to be talking about that one day a new student arrived and Ando remembered how he felt being lonely. He befriended him through handball, and eventually he joined in, and together they all belonged. So this teaches about diversity, empathy, resilience, and self-confidence. Relationships, bullying, harassment, discrimination, and violence. I've tied that in with the Australian curriculum content descriptions through year 1 and 2, health and physical education, communicating and interacting for health and well-being. So it describes ways to include others to make them feel belong. to make them feel like they belong. This is what Ando did. He didn't feel like he belonged in the school, and he made sure that that other little boy, when he was eating his banana, he joined him in, and they developed that friendship. And it ties in with the teaching resource that identifies and practices the emotional responses that account for own and others' feelings. So these two resources can be used together collectively. It helps the children. It works through the process of the refugee child and the changes that they're going to be experiencing. It is going to be a very big culture shock for them, and also to help the children in the classroom to understand as well where their peers have come from. Because at the end of the day, education is a basic right. Without the chance to study, an entire generation is at risk. Thank you.